What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about some Microsoft news. You know, we talked about a lot of negativity with Sony, and depending on, I guess, how you look at this Microsoft news, you could probably, I would say, you could look at it more of a negative view. So I would say it's Microsoft's turn. So this was something that I actually caught. I saw a video Sunday night. I was just like hanging out Sunday night, and then this video popped up on my YouTube recommended, and then I wake up Monday, and all of a sudden there's all these articles being written about it. So I wish I was ahead of the times, but I really sometimes I am, most times I'm not. But basically, this article comes from Forbes.com, and there's a lot of other sites writing about it, by the way. And they said, forget Elder Scrolls 6, even Xbox's Perfect Dark, Fable, and Everwild are still likely years away. Okay, now I want to summarize what was said in this interview, and we're gonna go from there. We'll talk about if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily, I'm trying to look at a lot of things, even the PlayStation news. I want to try to look at it with like a positive view, right? Talk about some good, but we also have to talk about the bad. There's definitely I think a lot of importance in talking about the bad. Really quickly, before I get too far into it, if you guys do like this stuff, make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. We're getting very close to 50K subs. Make sure you guys like the video. I've been trying this experiment over the last little while. Liking definitely seems to help YouTube. For whatever stupid reason, subscribing doesn't, but I definitely would like you to subscribe, but liking the video seems to help the video. So make sure you guys are doing that. And final thing, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, PodcastNow15 is my Twitter handle. I always leave a link for it in the description below, or of course, you can look me up over on Twitter. All right, basically, I guess I'll read kind of word for word what he said for one part. He said, Everwild, Perfect Dark, Fable are so far away, as in there might even be a new Xbox by the time these games come out. And when you look at the Hideo Kojima stuff, you wonder if they are signing third parties in the moment because they don't have a lineup of big exclusives at all. I've been wondering a bit why Xbox has been going so hard on third-party deals for Outriders and MLB The Show and getting them on Game Pass day one to undercut Sony, but would actually make perfect sense as this is their stopgap plan until their actual games are out. So that was, and then they kind of went on to their own, personal opinions on the stuff. But look, I believe it. Now, I don't know this guy who said that he was talking, and this is like a leaker. He's talked to like industry friends, so like he claims to know this information. So it's again one of those situations, maybe even like Jason Schreier, where you believe him or you don't, or maybe you believe some of the parts, which is kind of how I stand with most of the stuff, especially with even somebody like Jason Schreier. As I've said, I believe maybe the facts, but how he kind of puts it into like an agenda or a narrative I don't necessarily fully agree with. But the same thing here. I mean, you guys are completely, I have no disrespect for you guys. You guys form your own opinions on this stuff. If you fully believe it, if you don't believe it whatsoever, completely cool. I think it sounds right. From everything that we've heard, I mean, Fable literally is just a name. I mean, when they go on the article to say that, Fable and even Perfect Dark are literally like name only. Like that's how they announced the game, was with the name. And then what I will say, a comparison would be like God of War Ragnarok, okay? That would be kind of the comparison with Sony, is that if you were to say, oh, that game is coming, just like Fable is coming, I think God of War is coming way before Fable, but it's we know the name. We know the name, and that's kind of how they announced it. Actually, it's not even called God of War Ragnarok, but, that's how they showed it in the trailer. It is alarming, but it's also, I don't want to say understandable, because maybe people get the wrong message. Like, I feel like they have a good strategy going right now, where I kind of follow what Forbes is saying here, where if you bought the Xbox for these exclusive games, that's where like they're in trouble. That's where I think people should, I guess not should, but they have the right to be mad if they want to be mad, right? Because you look at games like Fable, you look at games like Perfect Dark. Now, one thing I hate is I love Everwild. From everything that I've seen about Everwild, I've talked about this game actually quite a bit on the channel. I mean, oh my dear God, that game looks so, there's very few games that look more beautiful than that. I'm sold on that game simply on art style alone. I don't care what kind, I don't care what kind of quality that game comes out in. As long as it looks good and in the way that we've seen it, I'm going to be getting it. Okay, so, and that's, obviously I'm putting a lot of excitement into that game when I don't really know too much more about it, but hearing that game is still probably years out. Elder Scrolls, there was actually a rumor, I didn't cover this in a video, but there was a rumor about a week or so ago that I saw that Elder Scrolls wouldn't be out until at least 2024, which is just absolutely insane, which means the next Fallout would probably be like 2028 or something. So, like, it's a push-pull, it's a love-hate kind of stuff, because I understand what Microsoft is doing. They're in a situation where they do have diversity. They do have studios that are able to make things, and maybe they're not always successful. Maybe they're taking quite a while to do it, but they have these studios that are currently working on some pretty big things, and all of them are very different, I would say, from each other. Obviously, a lot of Bethesda stuff, those are kind of similar vein games, but that's the situation. But they're not coming out for an extraordinarily long time. So in the meantime, you have to do things like Outriders on Game Pass. You have to do things like MLB The Show on Game Pass. You have to do things like working on a deal potentially with Hideo Kojima. Getting Bethesda just kind of adds to the rest of the stuff, because Starfield, I would say, is a coin flip to release this year or next year. You have, again, like Elder Scrolls not coming out for an extraordinarily long time. Even a game like Avowed, which they didn't even mention, Avowed, I would imagine, is probably next year at the earliest, maybe even longer than that. So, like, that's the situation. Like, you have all these great games, and you're buying all these studios, and you're doing all this stuff, even with Bethesda, but, like, you're not having games come out for years and years and years. Now, like, to be fair, but also to be frank, it's the reason why I don't have an Xbox. I mean, just flat out, it's and people take that and run with it. And I'm sure as I get bigger, people will say all sorts of different stuff about me. I respect Microsoft, I respect Sony, I respect Nintendo. I've told you guys before, I'm in it for the games. Wherever the game is, I'm gonna get it. Okay, not like every game, on the planet, but if there's a game I'm interested in, I will find a way to play it. Okay, but the reason I don't have an Xbox right now is, yeah, Game Pass is amazing. I mean, I've heard enough amazing things about it. I'm comfortable with the PS5. I am not going to get Outriders anyway. So, like, a situation like that, MLB The Show. I actually do like the MLB games, so I'm not going to, like, get this year's version or anything like that. So, like, and then the reason I would get an Xbox would be those big games. Avowed, I'm super into Avowed. Everwild, I'm very excited for that. Fable, I've actually been a Fable fan for quite a while. My friend had it. I always played it with him. I mean, I love those games. Well, okay, some of them are not as good as others, but, I want to get pretty much every game on that list. Elder Scrolls, obviously, I would get. Halo Infinite, I'll be getting. So, these are all games that I'm into, but at the end of the day, I've said it before, I'm probably going to end up getting a PC so I can just experience, all of it in the first place. But that's where I stand. So, like, for me, it's a different thing, because, like, you can look at that and see it as a very negative situation, which I could completely understand. Because, like, if you bought, it'd be the same thing for PlayStation. If you bought a PS5, and which we're kind of going through right now, and you get, like, one exclusive a year, and then the boatload of them when you get, like, 5 a year, that doesn't happen until, like, year 3, but you bought the PS5 day 1, well, you could argue you wasted your money. You know what I mean? So, really, I will say, one of the major gripes I've always had with Xbox is for a Series X, I don't really see why you would buy it. Okay, there's obviously the jump in, like, technology and, loading times and how it looks and how things run, stuff like that. But besides the medium, there's nothing for the Series X. And I'm not saying that as a negative, because I know there's a lot of positive stuff coming about it. I'm excited for that positive stuff. I will be playing all of that positive stuff. So I will say that just to kind of get, I guess, a read on where I stand. For Xbox, it's about continuity. It's about being able to play games across everything, and that's their strength, and that's what they've done really, really well, and I fully respect and, kind of admire what they've done with that situation, okay? I really, really do. So, I look at this article as more of a negative, but more as just a like I never thought Elder Scrolls was coming out next year. Starfield, I thought probably could come out this year. Halo, yes. Fable, I thought would, we'll have to see. Like, if Fable doesn't come out for, like, another 4 years, that, you could, like, is that a problem? I would probably say that's a problem. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if the game comes out and it does well, and Game Pass has 50, 60 million people on it, like, obviously it's going to be worth it, and then the game's going to be supported quite a bit. Maybe they can make faster games after that. So it all is really where you stand on the situation, okay? I don't want to come off as a fanboy for either of them, because I'm really not. I look at things, I would say, pretty fairly. If Microsoft does stuff that I like, I call it out. I say, good job. They do stuff that I don't like, I call it out. And same thing for Sony. And I try to keep this. I know a lot of people online, especially what I've noticed on Twitter, is fanboys for one or the other. They don't have standards. They have double standards. They have, if one does something they think is good and the other does it, they think it's bad. And I've seen, and I'm saying everybody, but you'll see that quite often. I really don't think I'm like that. And I've seen enough of you guys telling me as well that I'm not like that, which I definitely appreciate. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think that these games are going to be years and years out? If that's the case, and maybe you have a Series X or S, what do you think about that? Does that make you upset? Do you not care? You're in it for Game Pass. Let me know kind of your situation. I think it's pretty important to discuss. So let me know. As always, again, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turn on, give the video a like if you liked it, or dislike it. That's fine. If you want to dislike it, that's also engagement. I'm sure that helps the video out too. So go ahead and do that. Twitter, again, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. Link for it is in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.